What is up, YouTube? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. My channel is very diverse. I'm more of like a real in person, grounded individual who is seeing a firsthand experience on what it's like to, be in America, right? Just you can basically say lifestyle. But in other words, uh, as I digress, as I always do, there's also this like common, phrase or saying that's on the internet, right? And that's where is the middle class? Oh, the middle class is slowly being wiped out. What will happen in the next future, for the middle class, right? And you just have to take a step back and think about what is considered middle class. I think if we have to be honest here, I think middle class is the white picket fence, having two kids, a dog or a pet, able to go on vacation once or twice a year, and live in a very nice suburban neighborhood, uh, able to have two vehicles, um, at least have once a week off for family time, or church. If we're gonna talk about like middle class, in other words, like it's all lifestyle, right? That's what makes middle class so special. And being poor is just a whole different other situation. Being poor is like you're never gonna get out your situation because you're in poverty. You're like in survival mode 24/7, and you don't know how to get out. And I don't know how it is because I've never been poor, but I've been broke quite a bit in my life. And I will tell you that there's a big difference. And that difference is how you feel about the situations you're in. You're either going to get out of the situation or you're just going to stay in the same situation and dwell on your current state. And then there's upper class, right? Upper class is like a whole nother level. I don't really want to speak on it because I don't really know what I consider upper class or even know what it is. I just know that I would rather be in the middle class, and because let me tell you why. And this follows and aligns to what I'm about to say about the middle class supposedly disappearing. I believe that the middle class has never disappeared. I think that the middle class has went gray man. And when I say gray man, I'm saying that they are blending in to one single class, which is the regular common folk, class, right? And they're hiding their wealth and their assets in the background. They're driving 10 to 15-year-old cars and not caring about what people think about them. They're shopping at Goodwill and buying secondhand items without without even a second thought. And they're using coupons at the store without even thinking about in the fact that it's going to expire in 2 days. These individuals are just regular people who understood how money works in America and are going by any means to adjust to how they should live in this economy. Whether they have $100, $10,000, 100,000, a million, it's almost if like they program themselves with very disciplined financial literacy slash habits to the point where you don't even know who has $1 million anymore. Like I thought about this the other day. I'm like, bro, why do people at my job who have nice cars or nice cars and have nice houses don't want to admit that they're in debt, they have to work overtime all the time, and they have dysfunctional families because they're never at home having family time with their kids and their wife. Then you got, the guy who drives a 10 to 15-year-old truck at my job. He's single, or he has a girlfriend, as a partnership, and he's just, minding his own business, relaxing, paying no bother to anybody, and he never works overtime. He always figure out a way to get the weekend off by any means. And if he does have to work a weekend, it's not even that much. It's probably like 2 or 3 weekends out of 3 to 6 months. And then here I am stuck at the job because, I'm addicted to making money through four digit paychecks. And that's when it hit me, and it made me realize that the people who look like they're struggling were never struggling in the first place. But the people who try to act like they're not struggling are deeply struggling but don't want to admit it because of what they were told from the beginning. When I say the beginning, I meant told as a young age when it came to, getting into debt, signing on a loan, getting a house, like these social status symbols, right? Buying a brand new car every 2 to 3 years, buying a house, starting a family, just to end up at a job 7 days a week and seeing his coworkers and his boss more than he actually sees his whole family. And the only time he ever sees his family is when he's walking to his room to go to sleep. Like it sounds very depressing, to be honest with you, to the point where you don't even want to like work a job anymore, even try to attempt to start a family. So, that kind of paints the picture like what is your 20s even for if you're in your 20s or early 30s? And I think it's just literally just to build as much financial security as you can until you get to that point in life where you're like, I just can't do this anymore. But, people mistake hopelessness with hard. It's a hard life out here, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means that you have to pick your battles wisely. You have to be very vigilant and vigilant on what is going to happen if you get into the choices that you choose to make. Like, for example, the vehicle. Yes, you can buy a brand new vehicle, but just know that you're going to be paying $5,000 to $10,000 more because you have to take a loan for that vehicle. Yes, you will have mechanical reliability for the next 2 or 3 years if you have, a great, if you choose wisely on what vehicle you choose. And then here comes the house, right? If you choose the right neighborhood, if you try to avoid the HOAs or you get into a HOA, like it's a lot of due diligence you have to, go by in order to maintain a certain lifestyle in this world. And I feel like middle class individuals who are financially literate, who are financially literate, understand how this works. And at the end of the day, man, people's opinions don't pay your bills. So you might as well do what you want to do.